So Lydia, as the Chief Real Estate Officer, tell me about the proposed project. And maybe if you could even begin with the site. Older people, I guess all of us maybe included, are familiar with Malibu Grand Prix and the fact that it used to be there on that corner triangle of the Coliseum property. So maybe if you could define the property and then tell us specifics about what you hope to put there.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks. And you're right. I reminisce there because my husband and I, our first dates were actually at Malibu Grand Prix.
Oh, no kidding.
So there's some reminiscent feelings there for the site. So it's a triangular site. It is right next door to the Coliseum. So for fans who park in C Lot, it's right next to the C Lot, and it's right near the Denny. That's off of Hagenberger as well. So it's a great location. And we think that by virtue of being at the Coliseum, folks who are used to coming to A's games via BART will still be able to access the site via BART. Folks who are used to parking on the parking lot at the Coliseum will be able to access that way as well. So we're really excited about the site. It's just a little under 9 acres, and we are planning a full-size stadium that meets USL soccer standards. We are planning on 10,000 fan capacity, and including everything you might normally expect in a venue. We'll have a great entry sequence. We'll have the locker rooms and facilities for visiting and home teams, the refs and all that thing. We'll have we've gotten really good feedback from our fans in a survey we've had earlier about the block party that we have right now at the current, when we have at the Lady Stadium and we have right now at CSU East Bay. And so the plan is to keep that vibe going in terms of the food trucks and block party and just make it a really festive occasion there. So we're really excited about the site.
And what is currently on the site? I mean, I'm guilty of driving past it a lot, and I peek over sometimes, but I don't really have the aerial view. What's there right now, and would anything difficult need to be displaced?
Yeah, right there. There's nothing there permanently. It is used once in a while for overflow parking if there's a dual event at the arena and the Coliseum. Once in a while, it gets leased out to UPS and some other folks on a temporary basis, but it's basically a gravel parking lot. In terms of the one, probably there's two features that we'll have to deal with. One is there is a very large PG&E line that goes across the hypotenuse of the triangle. That will remain, and we'll just have to work around it. The other feature is it's actually a little bit of a mound. The site is higher in the middle versus the edges, and so we'll have to flatten that out. And then there's some utilities we need to bring to the site, but it's essentially not used for anything right now.
Lindsay, let me ask you from the team strategy standpoint, why go the temporary stadium route? And we say temporary, this is not a 2-year thing. You said 10 years earlier. That's more of a longer term thing than maybe most people might initially think. What's the game plan of this instead of saying, you know what, we're going to look for our forever home here and now? And let me also ask you this, why would that site not be your forever home?
That's a lot of questions.
Yeah. Sorry.
So I'll start with the first one first.
I get paid by the question, I guess. Go ahead.
As we all know, real estate development in Oakland is very challenging. Mm-hmm. And we have a very urgent need for a stadium. And the fastest route for us to get to a stadium that will provide a home for all of our fans, much greater capacity than 5,000, will provide a home for us to have a fully professional women's team and men's team, and will allow us to generate the revenue to pay for our operations, is this temporary venue concept. And it will give us a home that will give us the runway to facilitate us looking for a permanent home in Oakland. Right now, we're in a little bit of a catch-22 where we need a venue right now. And so the best way to do that is to put together a temporary home. And And by temporary, we do mean 10 years. It's longer than, like you said, just a couple of seasons. But that will allow us that longer term runway. And part of the reason why real estate development is so complicated is because you have to make sure things are zoned properly and have the utilities necessary. And those just aren't things you can work out in 24 months. And that's why we've been limited in our options for this temporary venue to locations that are already permitted for use for a professional soccer facility like this.